Growing up, my great aunt was the tennis player of the family. Even though it was kind of seen as a game for rich grown-ups to play, I did have a fascination with a summer vacation favorite, Wimbeldon. At the end of June on free TV, before you needed to stream everything, the Wimbeldon Championships in the United Kingdom would be broadcast, and there was a certain air of regality. Plus, because it was being played in England and I lived in the Pacific Northwest, it was on TV during the daytime when it was basically old reruns and soap operas. So tennis was the gateway to my summer vacation. Being a launch title in one of the first 2 sports games ever developed for the system, tennis showcases a much different side of the Game Boy than Mario's pitching and batting outing, this time for the better. Alright, time to serve up some hype for tennis. The box art of tennis is a simple singles affair, taking place just a second after Mr. Blonde hits a ball toward his opponent. The brown-haired antagonist, just take a look at those eyebrows, is ready to meet the challenge, and the volley is on. Of course, Mario is on the cover of this one, making his launch title number 4 of 4 with him gracing the cover. Taking a closer look here, Mario looks a little French with his purple beret, and his eyebrows are actually breaking through the brim of his hat, and this reminds me of an adventure he would be having much later in his career. The title font is going for a little more of a stenciled athletic look, or maybe a high school leadership poster look. I really like the custom logos for each launch game, even if tennis is the most blasé of the 5. Changing courts to the back. The back features a few boring screenshots, including a shot of the in-game title screen. What a waste of space. And one showing gameplay. On the second paragraph it says, you can try power serves, skillfully placed shots, lofty lobs, and killer cross courts. Umpire Mario will call the close ones. And as you'll see, he just loves to let you know that your shot is out. He is actually not a perfect judge, which is kind of interesting, just like real-life tennis. This also marks Mario's very first sports title that he actually looks like himself in. It's time to see if Mario gets advantage or love in his first tennis outing and boot it up. A peppy title screen greets us, an encouraging sign, and we see 3 major options. 1 player versus the CPU, a 2-player versus option using the game link, and an option to turn the music off. After selecting 1 player, you are given 4 difficulty options, which are not just difficulty, but speed options to choose from, and then it's your serve. Every single match of tennis begins with a screen showing off Umpire Mario, working on his tan up top. The crowd is composed of 3 individuals copy and pasted, Straight on Phil, Side Looking Ed, and Mismatched Eye Marcia. Our tennis stars are nameless, but I don't see Mr. Blonde here. Instead, we have Player 1, a bandana-wearing, mullet-flowing, ear-popping, dark outfit guy from the USA. The other guy looks like a wavy-haired dude from the former Soviet Union. After displaying the current match and set, Player 1 always starts out serving first. Tennis is obviously about scoring points, but figuring out how to position yourself against the CPU is what this part is all about, and it really feels like a puzzle game in that regard. Because we are playing in singles, it's 1v1, there are no options for doubles in this game, players have to hit the tennis ball between the inner white rectangle, which is actually kind of smudgy gray. If it goes beyond, Mario will happily yell, "Ouch." While serving, just as in hitting, the A button is a straight volley that zips relatively fast. The B button is a lob, which is meant to go over the head of the CPU. When hitting, pressing the D-pad in a direction will send the tennis ball to a more specific side or angle. Tennis, like chess, is a duel. When lobbing shots back and forth, the closer you get to the net, the more cross-court control you have, sending the ball diagonally out of reach of your opponent. However, you are also at that point at risk of a lob shot, which could sail over your head and be nearly impossible to hit. Positioning your player in shot after shot to try and gain the right spot is a lot of fun, and the CPU character feels like they try different hits to throw you off. I am happy that the tennis ball itself is fast, not the zombie-like ball in baseball. Especially so on level 4. The CPU reacts quickly, and this is a much more responsive game than baseball is for sure. And while yes, I know it's much more taxing on the Game Boy to draw 9 baseball players on the screen rather than 2 tennis players and our favorite plumber, but the Game Boy and tennis are like Fruity Pebbles and 2% milk. They were simply made for each other. There's a big difference between simple and lazy when it comes to graphics and game design. Tennis feels simple. From the 2 character models, 3 if you count Mario, to the 1 court to the audience. This game does have bits of Nintendo charm sprinkled throughout, including a super small touch in the crowd. Here, a side of the audience we rarely see, Nintendo makes sure there are boys and girls in the audience, and even seems to include them randomly. Another charming little touch is Mario's head. He follows the ball from court to court in an animation that's fun and engaging. The pop-up with his face is clear and well drawn. This is all good stuff. It is simple, but gives us a little Nintendo magic. Even the walking animations and match screen is fun. Keeping the action clear is essential, and the game looks and plays great. Musically, similarly to that other sports title at launch, tennis has a simple musical loop that oddly enough doesn't seem to bother me as much as that simple soundtrack did in baseball. It may be because during match play, you are using both buttons and the D-pad the entire time, so there's more to concentrate on rather than an annoying background track. This game took me a while to get the hang of, knowing when, where, and how to return serves and place my shots. I started the match 0-6, losing 6 straight sets to the CPU, but then out of the blue, I found my groove, and I was battling. Back and forth led me to my first win in the second set, and it all came down to a match point in the final round. Let's listen in.
Love. Yes. And second serve, Lando. Quiet, please. Thank you.
He never really got set up for this stop volley here. He should have banged it, but he let it drop too low.
Well, 30-15.
Ivan here didn't so much hit that ball, he sort of thrashed at it because it was at full stretch. Another wonderful return, getting right over it and bringing it down. Enormous strength and accuracy.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Just a wonderful shot.
There's one. Oh dear, that was sheer instinct. Reflex shot.
Juice.
That was a good serve into the body, blocked back.
Game, set, and match.
A titanic struggle between 2 great players.
Tennis is a fun title that does exactly what I hoped it would. It uses the Game Boy well and shows that even a simple game can be infused with Nintendo's brand of fun. The CPU feels fresh to play against from shot to shot, and it is by far the only sports title to recommend at launch. It was also one of 3 launch titles to support the Game Link adapter, and playing this against another human sounds like a lot of fun as well, especially on those faster settings. All in all, tennis serves up some simple sports fun. And that, my friends, is tennis on the Nintendo Game Boy. Thanks for taking a volley with tennis for the Game Boy. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Boy Meets Game, where we look at classic games from a slightly different perspective. Thanks again, and see you soon.